Morgan sent a question asking if we require tenants to have tenant insurance. Yes, absolutely. So I'm not an attorney. I can't give you legal advice, but it's my impression that tenant insurance serves several different things for you. So merely having that in your lease that the tenant is responsible for to have tenant insurance helps to eliminate a lot of your liability. So if the tenant moves in, doesn't get tenant insurance, but the lease states that they were supposed to get tenant insurance, and something gets damaged, especially something of the tenants that the tenant owns, they're now responsible. You can always fall back and say, hey, it was, legally required to have tenant insurance. That was your choice not to get tenant insurance. So the fact that a hot water heater maybe blew out and caused water damage, and damaged some of their possessions, it puts some of the burden onto the tenant. But beyond that, tenant insurance is obviously important to make sure the tenant actually has the tenant insurance, even though it's of value just having it in the lease. The tenant insurance covers everything besides just the tenant's belongings. It also covers the property. And the other nice thing I like about insurance companies, and what I actually love about insurance companies, is a lot of the times when there's a problem, it's taken out of your hands. Because dealing with problems is a massive, massive undertaking, and you're not an expert at that. You're not going to be an expert at getting compensated in some way. So having multiple insurance companies basically kind of puts the insurance companies against each other. So the insurance companies will get together, just kind of push you aside, out of the way, and they're going to deal with the situation. You'll contact your property insurance company and say, hey, this occurred at my property. They're going to ask you, okay, well, what information do you have on the tenants? What information do you have on their insurance company? You'll provide it, and they're just going to push you out of the way. They're going to do the work. They know the verbiage. They know what conversations to have, and they'll work it out amongst themselves. So definitely have tenant insurance. Definitely put it in the lease. Do your best to check on that. It's tough because as a property management company, we actually provide the tenants with tenant insurance. So we don't mess around. We need the tenants to have tenant insurance, and we have so many properties and we have massive, massive buying power. So we actually get a much superior tenant policy than tenants can get otherwise for a much lower cost than they could get. So we're getting them great coverage. So it's easy for us, and from our end, we know the tenants have coverage, and we know they have great coverage. So I don't think the average landlord would be able to do that, obviously. So I would definitely have the tenants actually name you as the second on their policy. That way you'll be notified when the policy is canceled. Otherwise, you would have to have the tenant check in with you every couple months just to make sure it's there. All right, good luck.